Yo, what up? Yo, what up? How's everybody out there in YouTube land? It's your boy Joe Breezy. Back with another show for you. So I got a special guest coming on. I'm gonna bring him out right now, and we're gonna get down and dirty with it. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, Mr. Breezy? Good to see you.
Good to see you as always, man.
Long time friend. Yeah.
It's been it's been a long time.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Dude. Yeah, you're actually the reason I'm married to the chick I am married to right now.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, my wedding.
Your wedding.
I wondered, did you know about what is it? The bouquet of flowers? It was fucking Jake the Snake. Remember? Remember, like when they. Yeah.
That's great.
I got pictures somewhere, man. Yeah, those are good times, man.
Yeah. So I guess, man, introduce yourself to the listeners, if there are any listeners. If you want to keep up with the comments, up in your upper right-hand corner, there's a comment section.
Right.
You can, but usually people aren't catching it live. There's like three shows of people that my common folks that are going on right now. So I doubt anyone's really going to jump in.
Well, okay. So my name is Richie Woody. I live in Cibolo, Texas. I'm a construction inspector, but my hobbies are kind of a struggling documentary filmmaker wannabe. I like the paranormal, and I make a lot of videos like that over the years. Did some ghost hunting type videos, and that's kind of like what I do as for a hobby. Also a photographer. You get so tomorrow, you remember a place called Aquarina Springs in San Marcos?
Yeah.
It was big in the 80s, and so I have finally got permission to photograph that place. So I'm going there. I got to be there at 6:30 in the morning, and at 10. That's just general photography of the place. But at 10 a.m., I'm going to the abandoned side where the public's not allowed to go. So they're going to take us through there, and I'm going to take a bunch of pictures of the old amusement park that's just been sitting in the woods rotting away. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I can't.
Good old Ralph the Swimming Pig.
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. I'm anxious to see
the glass bottom boats.
Yep. They still have those.
That's really cool.
That's still a thing that people can do when they go there.
Yeah, didn't they have like people that swam under there? Like they go do like because I only went once.
Right. They had like
they did like underwater shows.
Right. They had mermaids, and they would have the scuba gear on, and I was really, really young, but that was some fun shit to see, man. That was really neat.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
But you got to jump through all kinds of hoops to get in there, so it's been a pain in the ass. I almost abandoned it altogether, but I stuck with it.
Yeah, we actually took the youngest to Wonderworld or whatever, and I stopped. I didn't know that part was shut down, and I'm like, dude, where the fuck is the lake? Where like where's the? And I even asked some chick, I was like, where's Ralph the Swimming Pig? She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, oh yeah, you're fucking like 18 shit.
You don't fucking know.
For real, dude. But that's awesome, dude. That's gonna be cool, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. My wife's not looking forward to it because I told her, I sprung that on her today. I said, yeah, we got a fucking early morning, so be ready. And you got to bundle up because the cold front just blew in. We have some storms coming in. I know, where are you in? Cedar Creek, right?
Yeah,
we're about to get hit with some storms tonight, so perfect.
We got our first wave. It came in like right before I was getting out of work. So it dropped it from like 70 something, upper 70s to like 50.
Yeah, feels good. We got windows open over here, man.
Hell yeah,
it's nice.
Right on, man. Right on. Yeah, dude, I hate that, man. Having the day off, but then you still got to do shit.
Yeah,
I'm one of them people, man. If I know I got the day off, dude, I got party all night and I sleep all freaking day long.
Yeah.
Like I ain't doing shit. I'm gonna be laying on the couch all fucking day.
Oh yeah.
Right on, man. So yeah. So I put it on the title. R.I.P. JTS, Jake the Snake, man.
Yeah, man. My brother.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
Let's go back to like how we all met. So I met Jake and Mike. They were at a party, and this had to have been 1998 or some shit. And I remember I had a blue bandana on my face, and I had a blue bandana on my head. I had a LA Dodgers jersey from Ralph Switzer, and I remember I went and I was talking shit to them. I had a baseball bat in my hand, and they turned out they weren't even impressed by it. They were like, "Really, dude?" And that's where we hit it off, dude. And goddamn, we hung out that night, and then I found out that they liked the same kind of music I did. They liked Tupac a lot. They liked heavy metal music. They liked Pantera. And I mean, we were friends ever since, man. And
oh yeah,
golly, Jake was a brother to me. He really was. I mean, he was an uncle to my kids, and I'm uncle to your kids, and yep, and
Uncle Dude.
Uncle Dude, exactly. That's and Jake used to tell me the stories about staying at your place, man, and he'd have me rolling. How funny the kid talking about John Gaddy. Who's John Gaddy? You know what I'm talking about, right? He didn't want to say Mr. Gaddy's.
You're right.
He say, "Oh, John Gaddy."
Dude, he used to scare the kids with that shit so hard, dude. It was funny as hell, dude. Completely made up boogeyman, man.
Oh gosh. He was a great man, and we miss him, man. We miss him. Yep.
Al Gore says no sound. I'm hearing everything.
I'm hearing everything. Let's see.
It might have glitched out for a minute. Let me know, Al, if it keeps it up or if you start to hear us or whatever. Because if not, we can always close this one down and open up another one.
Right.
But yeah, I first met Mike first, and then at David P's house, and I sent David to go get some beer, and he comes back with this dude in a suitcase, and he's like, "This is my friend from school, man. He's gonna have to stay a while. His dad kicked him out."
Oh,
and I'm like, yeah, and I was like, all right, and so that was at night, and I didn't even really meet him. And then the next morning, I got up and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go find out what this kid's about, So I rolled up a blunt and I go into David's room, and he had Hazel's a pit bull at the time, and I walk in. And him and Hazel were basically making out. She's all licking on his face. He's all. I was like, dude, you want to smoke a? I'll just shut the
door. Wow.
And then, we hit it off. And then I think that's shortly after that is when Jake got out of the Army or whatever, right?
Yeah. He went AWOL for a little bit.
Yeah. And then he went and moved back at his dad's, but his dad lived like right there on McDonald Road, so it wasn't far away at all.
Yeah.
It was like maybe a mile, something like that. So, yeah. And that was in like right about what, 99?
Yeah. We all met around the same time, man.
Yep. Yeah.
There's something special about those boys, man. It's just they're just great guys, man. And I know Brian's got his problems, and I hope he sees the light and makes a change. But I mean, they're all talented in music. I mean, it was amazing. Like Mike was a rapper, and he could fucking play guitar like he knew all the shit that you're like, how the hell do you know how to play the Beatles, dude? Oh my, they would always say Jake too. Jake was a damn good guitarist. Oh, my dad made us fucking listen to this shit. I mean, they're just talented people, man. All of them.
Yeah.
And I loved his family too. His dad, his dad was a great guy, Randy. They used to, they tell him, oh, my dad's a dick and all this. But when I'd meet him, he's like, hey, how you doing? Just a real nice guy. And but and of course Miss Kitty and they all it's like one of their own too,
Right. Yeah, the last few years before Randy passed, me and him, because he lives down the road from me, or lived down the road from me, and me and him got really close, man. We'd hang out like damn near at least once a week. I'd go over there, we'd drink and bullshit and just kick it, man. And anytime I was in the neighborhood, I'd swing in. I remember I did my first I was an extra in a zombie movie, and it was down the road from his house. So like I just show up in the afternoon, like all completely covered in green zombie paint with blood and shit. Awesome. I just show up. He's like, "What the hell? What the hell are you doing?" And I was like, "Dude, shoot a movie right down the road, man."
Dude, that is awesome, man. Yeah, I miss seeing him. He was. You remember you'd call him and he'd say, "Jesus loves you." Remember that? I don't know if that's how he. But that was for the longest time he would answer the phone like that. And then there's Johnny Reb.
Johnny Reb.
Golly, dude, you guys, they should make a movie about you guys. You guys were so you guys did everything. Okay, so Mike used to bring home VHS tapes of you guys making these home videos that were they were better than the Pantera home videos. I mean, it was drinking, it was smoking, it was just party, crazy shit that just makes you laugh your ass off, man. I wish I have one of those tapes somewhere.
That's dope. Yeah, he was always recording shit, man. I never got to really watch him, but I lived him.
Oh, dude, y'all, it was always the Cedar Creek boys, man. We'd always say, man, I want to party with the Cedar Creek guys. They don't give a fuck, man. They're crazy. They film everything. It was before Jackass, and before Jackass was around, there was you guys doing all these, man. Good times, man.
Yeah,
that's why I tell my kids all the time these stories,
Yeah, all our backyard wrestling and all that shit, dude. It's crazy.
Oh God. Yeah, and Johnny Reb, he was we had our own Johnny Reb over here. His name was Nathan Gibson. He's doing some prison time right now, but same thing, he was a Marine. Crazy, he'll squab with anybody. And it was cool because we had Nathan and you guys had Johnny Reb, and it was just cool. And I remember the first time I met him, he was I had a Letterman jacket on, and I mean, just cool dude, man. But everybody respects him, man. Jake would always tell us stories, man, and that was some good times. Y'all are some good people up there. Always respect you guys.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, we got sound. I was just checking it right now.
We got sound. Good deal.
Yeah. We're not just talking into the air. I had me worried for a minute. I was like,
you're right.
But yeah, man, it was a wild time. It was crazy how you know, how the band literally broke up, you know, like that's literally what it was like, because everyone got older, you know, and you know, everyone went there, had to get real jobs and shit and go their own way.
Yeah, we all had to settle down, and everybody started having kids, and you know, Jake was all over Austin, and
well, I had them all. Like I had because shit, man, since before I met Mike, I was always working for like big companies, you know, like, you know, IBM and shit like that. So I always like held it down, and I had kids, and I was married, and then it was like, and I'd still do all the partying, still go and do tours and do shows, you know, and then like whenever now it's a time for them, everybody else around me to start doing the same, you know, getting their shit together. And they're like, dude, I can't, man. I got to work. And I'm like, what is this? I've been doing this for 10 years.
This whole time. Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
Dude, I remember, because it was crazy. I remember one time me and Mike, we did, what was it? It was 53 shows in 3 months. Like, and I still had to go to work every fucking day. You know what I mean? So I was like, dude, nah, it's doable. Y'all are. And they're like, yeah, we're old now. And I'm like, dude, I've been old, bro. I'm the oldest one out of all of us.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So what do you got going on nowadays?
Nothing really, man. I just been going to work and then messing around on the YouTube. I got like a few different channels that I'm on. And basically just hanging out and, you know, swapping paranormal stories, encrypted stories, and getting in with that whole crazy. It's weird because I got, you know, I did the music thing for almost 20 years,
right?
And then I got into the horror movie thing because of the gas station and all that,
right?
You know, so I got into where I met all these horror movie producers and directors and actors and actresses, and then I got into the paranormal cryptid community. So it's like my third rodeo, you know what I mean?
Yeah, buddy.
It's cool.
Yeah, and it's fun over there. I mean, it's definitely a fun thing. You know, one thing I do have a problem with though is some of these places that are haunted, and you know, I will film it. It'll get really boring, and I've noticed that a lot of shit on TV, they put shit on there to kind of make it scary. But see, I like to be real, and the last place we filmed at, nothing was happening, and then everybody's like, hey, are you gonna put that on YouTube? And I'm like, dude, nothing happened. I mean, we got some EVPs or whatever they call them, you know, but nothing happened. But that's you know, you got to kind of like, it's hard to explain it. I don't know how they do it in Hollywood and shit, but I like to be real about it. And there's some real stuff out there, and there's very real stuff, but it's hard to put it together without being Hollywood, and because I don't want to blow smoke up people's ass. I want to be real about it.
Right. No, that's what gets me too, man. Like some of them I watch, dude, and I just clown, dude. I'm like, dude, come on.
You're like, give me a break, right?
Blatantly, you'll blatantly see them like chunk a rock, you know, and they're like, what was that?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on,
it's
dude.
I can't for the life of me. I can't for the life of me have somebody say, hey, just because that's what they say that they do, is like they say, well, hey, just kind of act like, and I'm like, no, I ain't gonna do that shit. If it's so, now don't get me wrong, there was a time where, okay, there's a place called Prince Psalm's Bed and Breakfast. It's in downtown New Braunfels. We did like an all-nighter there, and that place was strange because there was like 6 of us, and the crew that I'm friends with, they have all, I call them Omnipod or some shit, and it detects ghosts, and we were the only ones in there the whole night, and it was a hot night, and everybody was kind of getting cranky and tired. But when they were asking questions, something slammed. It sounded like a fist against the wall so loud, and it scared and it woke us all up. We're like, okay, that's unexplainable. It wasn't a door shutting. It was loud. It was just
right.
So, there's things that happen. And then there was the time we did the downtown Cibolo. It's a jewelry store. Kim, she's kind of like my mom. She owns a jewelry shop, and she would always tell us that there's a cowboy in here. You guys aren't going to believe it. There's a cowboy that walks through the fucking wall. And we're like, okay, well, tell us more about this. Well, we had this chick come in that was like a psychic or, like a medium. And she kept seeing a man with a cowboy hat. Never heard that story from Kim. And a little girl. And what that little girl does is she picks up jewelry and hides it. And Kim will be looking for this shit. And it'll appear. She'll be freaking out because it's a customer's jewelry, that she's selling and whatnot. Well, we did an investigation there, and on the security camera, it looked like orbs on her security camera that she recorded. And we were like, oh, it's probably just dust. Well, the night we did the ghost investigation, me and Justin Crank's his name, he was asking questions, and I was asking questions too, but he was asking like, show yourself, do something. Those orbs were flying into us. And Kim says, hey, look on the security monitor. They're flying into you guys. Well, the next day, we both felt like shit. It felt like we were out drinking all night. And that feeling lasted for a few days, man. It was a real ugly feeling. And I think whatever's in that place got into us somehow and just drained our freaking energy. So
energy, yeah.
Yeah. And now if I film one of these things, these events, I don't ask questions. Somebody else can do that. Because it's like a negative energy. It just drains you and you feel like, oh God.
Yeah, because you're provoking it.
It's very bizarre. But Right. And that's what Justin was doing. Not so much me. I was asking, make a noise, and whatever it was making noises. It not making noises, but it was knocking shit off the walls and stuff. And we're trying to say, well, there is mice in there. I mean, the whole building has mice. Maybe we shouldn't say that on YouTube, but the whole building has mice. But it would be like obvious shit. Like you would hear like a coin or something. And it was very bizarre. And the orbs, like I said, we thought it was dust. Dust doesn't just fly into your body like that. I have that on video somewhere. But yeah, it's
that place that Mike had that was haunted when Mike and Patty used to stay out here in Bastrop. That had that ghost or whatever in it. Like that thing got me once. Yeah, it got me once, and it went through me, and I literally it drained me instantly. I got nauseous. I had to go lay down in my car because it was just like being sick, and I was just like, oh shit, like lightheaded, and like I was like,
that's what they say happens, man.
Yeah. Now I called it an asshole. I was like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That is crazy, man. Yeah, that's a real thing, and people don't realize it. So there's a place. I have some friends that her name's Joanne. She owns the Black Swan Inn in San Antonio. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It was on Ghost Adventures. It's called the Victoria Black Swan Inn. She buys these haunted places, and they do tours and shit. She also owns Yorktown Memorial Hospital. That's in Yorktown, Texas. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
Well, that one is, oh man, if you get a chance, look up Yorktown Memorial Hospital. It was abandoned many, many years ago, probably in the 70s. This last time it was open. They have a nun's quarter. They have a coffin down there in the basement. It was a church, and a lot of people have had some really bad. It was also
that sounds familiar. Yeah, the coffin in the chapel or something in
Right,
the
right.
hospital. That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Crazy.
very, very evil place, man. And there it was a drug rehab place too, in sometime in the 70s and or 80s where it closed down. And it had some really bad shit happen there. There was a stabbing down in the bottom of the basement, a lot of bad shit. We went there and I had full permission to go there. I know the lady, the caretaker's name was Stephanie. She's a real cool chick. And I could have walked in there and me and Haley got there and the kids and I don't know if you call it a panic attack, but I freaked the fuck out, dude. I wouldn't even walk in. I felt this evil presence. And still to this day, I can call Stephanie. Actually, we could all go. I could take us all over there and we could walk in there at night. I'm trying to get the cojones to do it, man, because I want to film in there. I think it would be awesome. The problem is there's no power. So at night, if you go in a summer night, it's gonna be pretty sticky and shit, but we could take flashlights and shit. But if something goes down, Yorktown don't have cops. If you look that up too, there's no cops in Yorktown. They all got fired for some shit. I don't know what it was, but it's it's a trippy place, man. I just need to. I think if I got enough of you guys with me to go do it, I would do it. But it's very, very evil in there, man.
Yeah, see, that's why like I talk about this on some of the other shows, but that's why I don't buy the Bigfoot or these cryptids being just flesh and blood creatures, you know. It's because that sense of dread and that feeling comes upon people before they even know what they're in. They'll just be like, all of a sudden the mood shifted, you could feel this energy, and then we heard Bigfoot howls or whatever, so it's like there's something with it. There's got to be something spiritually with it, or at least something that taps into that frequency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing as when you're in a really positive spiritual place. Like you can feel that goodness, even though you don't realize where it's coming from or anything like that. It's still, so that's not, I don't think it's any of that stuff is just cut and dry, and to me it just reinforces my beliefs in the afterlife and spirituality as a whole.
I think there's a lot that we like when we go. I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff from psychic mediums. It's almost like this right here is just a play. It's just like when you go, you wake up from this play that you're like, damn, this was just all a play or a dream. Very strange when you get into that. But definitely. Whatever these beings are, like you're talking about Bigfoot. We went looking for Bigfoot. I think it was in 2017. Jake fucking knows this shit. Maybe your listeners know. There was a documentary in the 70s called The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about,
right?
So we went there it's called Fouke, Arkansas. Oh my God, we thought we had rednecks in Texas, dude. Jesus Christ. They talk funny, man. It was really cool. We went looking for them in there. We were filming everything. Of course, we didn't see anything. We didn't see any like footprints or anything. But being in, God damn, remember Dwayne Graves and Justin Meeks and them, Kill or Be Killed.
Mm-hmm.
Remember they were at the Bastrop convention. Oh God, what year was that? Anyways, they told me, hey, if you go under the bridge at Boggy Creek, we sign down there. Everybody signs and shit. And that's, from the movie and shit. So we went down there and we went way in those bottoms, man, where no man land, and just, it was so surreal to be in there and just seeing those big ass pine trees and swamp trees and looking for this thing, but so when we ended that, we went to this the only damn little burger joint in there in that town. And I started interviewing people, and I asked this old lady that worked there, I said, so have you ever seen this monster? And she says, oh, yes. And old people usually believe them because they're older. And she said, oh, yes, we've seen it a few times. And when we were kids, we'd have to come in at, 7 o'clock because that monster was out. And then I hear a guy in the background say, I've been hunting these bottoms for 40 years and I ain't never seen nothing. So you get these other people that, and it was cool because he was just a little old man, an old hunter, sitting in the corner eating his burger, and he heard us talking about it, and he chimed in, and he said he's never seen nothing back there. And he's been hunting them bottoms, the way he said it. It was real interesting. But I think whatever this thing is, people make fun of me for saying this shit, but there's got to be some kind of like portal or something where they're coming in and going out, because I don't think they're, it's bizarre, and too many people have seen them. Too many people have seen footprints. I wish I haven't yet, but there's definitely something that we as humans can't compute that.
Right.
It's really,
I got mad theories on it, and one of them is that they do phase in and out of our reality. Mm-hmm. And I think that the longer they stay in our reality, the more they become flesh and blood. Like they start losing that spiritual touch to them, or the phenomena touch to them. And that's when they actually kind of bleed over. But it's true, because there's too many incidences where they'll see not just Bigfoots, but like Thunderbirds and Dogmen and stuff, and they'll literally be running and then just when and they phase out, or they'll go blurry and then just disappear completely.
It's like they're in a different dimension. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now I agree with that. Yeah.
If you've ever heard of Skinwalker Ranch, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you how I got into this. Maybe you remember this back in the day. When I was a kid, well, first of all, I'm from the south side of San Antonio. For anybody that's listening that knows the south side of San Antonio is like the paranormal hotspot of San Antonio. It's where the fucking Alamo is. You got that. You got all those battles down there in the southern part of San Antonio. That's where it started, and the population grew out. So there's a lot of history there, and we had the ghost tracks, which that's debunked. The ghost tracks thing is not real. It happened in Utah, but everybody still talks about the ghost tracks being, it makes me so, because I'm from there.
So real, no, that's good that you brought that up, because that is bullshit.
It is bullshit.
You're talking about the school bus and the
right. Let's talk about that, because I lived over there, and it was popular. It's a popular place. It's a fucking hill that the kids push you down. It's a hill, and the baby powder is residue from people shutting their trunk. That's what it is. But everybody will fucking put baby powder on there, and they'll say, "Oh, it's the kids' handprints." Yeah, and I'll get on these Facebook posts. They'll say, "Oh, the haunted." Get to kids like this after the kids that were hit.
You're freezing out.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, you froze up for most of that, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's yeah. So what really happened was in Utah. I don't know where in Utah, but that really did happen in Utah, and there was some kind of like bus hit a kid or kid got hit by a train, but it's not on the south side of San Antonio.
All right, so
there is that one. I mean, it's cool to go out there, I guess, but there is an insane asylum on the south side that's really trippy. And I've been trying to get in there for years, but I can't get in because county owns it. That place is legit, though.
Well, that's good to know, man, because actually I was on, I forgot whose channel it was, and they had this, the guest was this, what was she? The paranormal biker or something like that. This chick, she goes around riding her motorcycles.
Oh, that's cool.
To different locations. Yeah, and she was talking about that. She's like, "Oh, you're from Texas, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, so you know about the train track thing?" I'm like, "Everybody knows about that."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "You know, have you ever checked it out?" I'm like, "No." Yeah. I'm not a boots on the ground type of guy. I just know a lot of this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's good to know, man. That's good to know. So let me pick your brain about Marfa and Marfa Lights.
Yeah. That's I got it tattooed all over me. I fell in love with that place. So, okay, back in the day, there used to be a show on AM radio called, oh God, Coast to Coast.
AM.
Right. And so way back when, Art Bell, rest his soul, he was a great guy. Mm-hmm. We used to listen to you know, he was always on late night. We'd listen to him, and there would be people talk about UFOs, and it was always UFOs, vampires, fucking ghost stories, ghosts, everything. They covered everything, everything bizarre that you could think of. And they would talk about Marfa one time when I was a child. I mean, I was probably 12, 13 years old. And I was just fascinated with this because they're saying these lights just disappear. So growing up as a poor kid for many years, you know, I always said that I'm going to go out there. I want to see what this is. Well, when I went out there for the first time, it was 2017, me and my wife and kids. And I even took Jake with me the second time because I had to show him this shit. And luckily we've seen these Marfa lights. I've chased them with my drone, and you get close to them and they just disappear. So whatever it is, and it's not car lights. So if you're looking, there's a fucking road that comes from Presidio. Yeah, if you look to your right, yeah, those are car lights that you're gonna see. But if you look to your left and you see these lights, and what they'll do is they'll dance around, they'll expand, and then they'll kind of move around. And it's not every time you see these, but you know, you just got to be patient and wait. But there's nothing out there. If you look at an aerial map, there's nothing out there. Now, these have been seen since way before vehicular traffic. And, you know, they used to think it was the Indians' campfires, and they would roll up on them and there would be nothing there. So these things have been there for many, many years, and nobody has been able to prove what they are.
That's crazy.
I think it's
because
maybe alien, or I don't know.
Right. I think it's all linked in together, interdimensional portal shit. But yeah, because that's the way because I was watching something and they're like, nah, that's the road where the cars are and blah blah blah. And I was like, but wait, but no, that shit goes back, like the tail of Marfa and all the lights out there goes back to like old Western days and shit.
Right.
Like
yeah. Way
before they had, yeah. Or even probably before that. You know?
Right. And if you look, there was an army base there. And one of the reports was, if you look at an aerial view of where the Marfa Lights viewing center is, to your listeners, if you're looking down at it, you'll see an old runways. And what that was it's an old army air base from back in the day. When those planes would take off at night, they would get chased by these things. And it's reported. I've seen it. It's been reported. This is probably in the 40s and shit. And they can't figure out what the fuck it is.
Right.
But that's what these things do. They don't only just dance around for people. They'll chase you. Me and Jake one year, we went way the fuck back there. There's this road called No Powell Road off of 90. And we were kind of like, it was sketchy, dude, because a few houses that are, we thought we were going to get shot at and shit. But we kept driving. We kept driving way back on this dirt road. And finally, I told Jake, I said, dude, we're fucking way deep in this shit. I'm not going any further because what if something goes wrong with this truck, dude? We barely have any fucking cell phone signal, But we were way back there. And that road, that dirt road will go and go probably all the way to Mexico, I think. I don't know. It's a very long road. But there's not shit out there. There's, people can't. I mean, even when the Mexicans cross, when they're like illegally crossing, they rarely cross through that desert. It's harsh.
Right. So it's pretty much uninhabitable or whatever.
Uninhabitable, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Yeah, I've never been, but I've always kind of had the intrigue to go check it out. I just never got off my ass to go do it. You know what I mean?
Man, I'll tell you what, man, once you see that landscape, it all makes sense, dude. If I could afford to live there, I'd move tomorrow. There's no work there though, Unfortunately, I'm in a yuppie fucking neighborhood. I make good money here, but I have to live amongst these yuppie ass people that don't jive with me. But I've even told my wife, I'll work at a dollar store if I could live out there. It's have you seen the movie? I'm sure you have. No Country for Old Men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, dude, that's one of my favorite fucking movies. If you look at the beginning of that movie, that was all filmed in Marfa. Even that drug deal's gone bad scene. The landscape out there, it's so peaceful. And it just draws you in.
Yeah, that there's a fun movie quote, or not quote, but fact. Apparently during that scene, you can see like smoke in the distance, and it was because they're filming another movie on the other side.
There will be blood.
There will be blood. That's what it was.
Yeah. Fucking badass, man. Yeah. That's another
Cormac McCarthy, the dude who wrote that book, one of my favorite freaking writers, dude. Like, he only has a handful of books, but I don't know if you're much of a reader, but if you ever get a chance,
I am. I haven't read that one.
He did No Country for Old Men. This other one called The Road. They did a movie about that, but his craziest book is called Blood Meridian, and it's just, dude, it is freaking insane. Like, it's just it's nuts, dude. Yeah, like there's this dude called, just not to get off topic, but this is like how it starts. Like, the whole thing starts out, this preacher is giving like a sermon, and this takes place on like the Old West during like the Mexican Indian Wars and shit.
Right.
And so he's giving like a Sunday sermon or whatever. And this dude walks in, and he's giant. He's like 7 foot tall, completely hairless, has the face of a baby, with like really small hands and really small feet. And he just walks in, and he's like, I'm here to capture bounty on that preacher. And everyone turns around. They're like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, he's known for, he raped a little girl in this county, and he's wanted for murder in this one and this one. And this. And they're like, what the hell? And the preacher's like, no, dude, no. And that dude riles up the crowd, and someone pulls out a gun and just blasts the preacher. And so, the judge leaves, and then these group of dudes, they walk across to the saloon, and he's sitting there, and he's drinking his drinks and shit, drinking a beer, drinking shots or something. And they're like, dude, how did you know all that about the preacher? And he's like, never seen that man before in my life. He just made it all up, dude. Yeah, it's just twisted. The whole book's twisted, man.
Jeez, like that. What is that called? I'm gonna write that down. What's that called?
It's called Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. Yeah, and they want to make a movie out of it, but it's just so twisted that like people have tried. They've been trying for like the last I don't know how many years, but it's just there's some scenes in it that are just so freaking twisted. Like that dude, he's basically like Satan on Earth almost. Like no one knows what he is. He's like kind of supernatural,
super evil.
Super evil, dude. Yeah, like there's like one whole part where he's got this little mentally disabled little like a kid, like he's like young, like 12 or 13, and he carries him around on a leash, bucket naked. Like, and they just like shows up to the campsite and they're both naked as jaybirds, you know, and he's just got this little mentally ill freaking kid on a leash, you know, and they're like, what the fuck? Like,
just out there.
It's twisted, dude. It's twisted, but it's a great book. It's great. I see. Yeah, and they got it on. I think you can find it even probably like on YouTube. Like audiobook style.
So there's a lot of good like free shit on YouTube, like audiobook style. But when it slows down as a construction inspector, when it slows down, and that's what kind of gets me through, you know, and trying to create content. Sometimes you got to listen to these things and it gets you motivated, like creative mood. There's so much shit, dude, Breezy, I want to do, but I just, I don't have the tribe, everybody works like we were talking about. Everybody works and, everybody gets tired and man, I just have so many things planned. I'll go ahead and say it here. The long distance plan is to move out of here. I want to leave this part of Texas. I can't believe I'm saying that, but we're trying to go to Utah so I can be closer to things that are, in your field. Okay, so if we go to Utah, Area 51's right down the way. I can make so much content. Right. Every time I go to New Mexico, I can make content because there's so much weird shit out there. It's, you know what I mean? But down here, I'm kind of stuck. So our goal in the next few years is to get out of here, move out west. That way I can look for Bigfoot more places out there too. Right. You see, the night sky out there, like in Arizona, you see shit in the sky out there. Yeah. Out here, it's, I guess, because it's so humid, you can't really see.
Yeah, you see more atmosphere than you see.
Right. Yeah. And you see more weird shit in the skies. Every time we go to like Arizona or something, it's just like me and my wife will say, "Oh my God, that is so bizarre." A matter of fact, one of the weirdest places, man, when we were traveling, it was right off of Route 66. It's this place called the Apache Death Cave. Now, I don't remember word for word, but I looked it up during the time and I posted some shit about it. Right off the road, it used to be like a roadside attraction where this guy, he claimed to be native, but he wasn't. And he was like showing people animals, like zoo animals out there, and he killed the owner of the place and got away.
I know this one.
You know that story?
Yeah.
It's so bizarre, man. And that Apache Death Cave is right there. You can walk right into it. There's no fence around it. It's just sitting there on the side of the road. Now tell me here in Texas where you can do that. Right. I mean, there's private property everywhere. And if you look around, there's fences everywhere. But out there, it's like everything's wide open. You could just walk in, and that's how I found the fucking diner from Natural Born Killers, dude, the opening scene right there in Navajo land, just sitting there.
Crazy.
Yeah. It is, man.
Yeah, man. Before you go, though, dude, we'll have to take it. So,
this is going to be in a few years.
Yeah. So a good friend of mine, he's like one of the big dogs in the field. His name's Barton Unley. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he's wrote a lot of books about. He's got a book called Inhumanoids, which covers from A to Z the entire.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Love you. And he covers A to Z all these cryptids and all this weird stuff, and but he lives out in Kentucky. There's a place called the LBL, or the Land Between the Lakes, and
okay.
Yeah, it's notorious for dog man side. Like, people go missing out there because they find their tent shredded up and claw marks and
yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah, and so he lives right close to there. So he's always inviting me to go. He's like, man, come on out, man. We'll go dog man hunting and shit.
Dude,
And I'm like,
dude, I would be down, man.
So yeah, you'd be like the perfect person to take.
Dude, I would do it, and I film it all, man. I recently ran into Lyle is it Lyle Blackburn?
Lyle Blackburn.
Yeah. I saw him at this cryptid thing, and it was cool to meet him because he's big on the Falk Monster thing.
Mm-hmm.
And bought his book. I got it up here, the Boggy Creek Case book. I thought that was really cool, man. And so I was talking to him about West Texas, right? And I, like all the weird shit that's out there. And I was telling him about there's this Border Patrol Ed. He's a retired Border Patrol agent, and he has some stories you wouldn't believe by the El Paso border at El Paso, out in that harsh desert,
right?
Of all kinds of paranormal shit that goes on in those mountains, and he's scared to even go into them. And we were talking about that, and he's like kind of lit a fire. He's like, dude, I think we should do some kind of documentary on that. And I told him, I said, if you want, I will provide any kind of B-roll you want for free. I will fly my drone out there and give you B-roll. If you guys want to go out there and investigate, I'm down. So hopefully, I told him I'm down. I will do it any given weekend that I can. I mean, it's like 6 hours away, but I'm down. I will do whatever. That would be cool.
Yeah. I knew about Lyle just from watching all these different paranormal channels and cryptid channels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I actually got to meet him at Josh Turner's conference up in Fort Worth back in September. It was actually the weekend before Jake's memorial. We went out there, and I was like, I wasn't gonna go, man, because I wasn't, in my head right. And
I know, man. None of us were.
And plus, I was like putting up all the money for it, and then I was like, man, I don't know if I can even afford it, And my wife was just like, she's like, dude, just get out of your head and just go, So I ended up meeting a bunch of really cool people in the field, and people that I chop it up with pretty much every day on their channels and stuff. But so I got to meet him, and I was wearing a gas station. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I was wearing a gas station T-shirt.
Yeah,
and and he's like, "Oh, the gas station." He's like, "Yeah, I have a band, and we played at the Cult Classics convention." And I was like,
"Oh, yeah." He plays in the band. Yeah, dude.
Like, that's right. Yeah, it's crazy.
He's one of those old school guys too, like that plays music. Like he's from the old days. Like he was telling me about how he used to he knew Pantera and shit back in the day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool, man.
That's dope. Yeah, that's dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they're all actually, man, pretty much everyone that I've met up there are really solid people. Like you would think, because, and it's funny, man, because you tell normal cats, like, oh yeah, I'm going to a dog man Bigfoot convention, blah blah blah. They're like, what the fuck, it's but once you're in there, it's way too normal. You know what I mean? It's just normal for everybody, and because my first serious conversation, that I ever had with anybody that wasn't like bullshit, was it was the banjo boy from Deliverance.
Yeah,
he's an old man now. I mean, he's old, man.
Yeah, he's still around, right?
Yeah. He came to Cult Classics, and he's a chain smoking fool.
No shit.
He came in there? Dude, he 4 to every one of my cigarettes. Easy.
Oh shit! Which
Yeah.
one was this one? Was it the?
It was the little doing.
Well, yeah, I know who it is, but which one was that? Was that?
Oh, that was
Sid Haggett that one?
No, that was Joe Bob was at that one. Joe Bob Brick.
Oh, okay, yeah, man.
Yeah. I think it was Joe Bob.
The last time I was there is when Sid Haggett was there.
Oh, that was
Malachi
one or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I
forgot. So he's a chain smoker?
He's a chain smoking fool, man. And we were sitting out front of the hotel smoking cigarettes and just bullshitting. And I was asking where he's from because he's one of them people that live way further north than us, but talk way more southern than us. They know that there, you know. I'm like, I find that shit hilarious, dude. But so yeah, I was like, oh, I forgot which Carolinas it was, maybe South Carolina or something where he's from. And I was like, oh, Bigfoot country, you know? And he's like, oh, hell yeah, man. I seen that damn old Bigfoot. I seen him shit, dude. I used to see him all the time when I was a kid. And my uncle used to go out there. He seen him. And my cousin, he had his handler with him. He was his daddy. And then they're out there. I mean,
and all these good stories, man.
Yeah, he's like, I was like, no shit, finally.
Dude, I would have loved to chop it up with that dude, man. That's badass.
Dude, he's cool as shit, dude. Yeah. And then some other dude that I know him now. He's like pretty much a regular at the convention. He's not a actress or anything, but he just comes out to all of them. And he comes walking up and he's like, Bigfoot. Oh, hell yeah, man. Shit. So like, I'm like, dude, I'm finally having a real conversation with people around like, you're fucking stupid. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, dude. I fucking love it, man. That, you know, and if there's like MUFON or any of these, I'll go to them because there's a lot of people that go to them. I mean, it's like we said earlier, it's a hot thing, man. People are interested in that shit because we've been lied to for a long time, you know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Government doesn't fucking, you know, I wish more people realized how much shit that they actually are hiding. It was funny. We had an air show over here a few weekends ago. And I was telling my father-in-law, this fucking airplane was fucking hovering, right? Just one of those jets. It was badass looking.
Yeah, the F-22 Raptor.
Yeah, and I said, where do you think that fucking technology came from? He's like, where do you think it came from? I said, 1947 fucking Roswell crash. That's where it came from. They know they got something from that fucking crash, man, that happened in 1947.
Yeah. In
Roswell. Well, Corona.
Yeah,
That's actually where the crash happened.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's I'm so into that shit, man.
Yeah, because that's when, hey Jackie in the chat, that's when because originally before 51 they took that to Wright Patterson.
All
that wreckage out there.
They had everything on the fucking newspapers, and then they had them taken back.
Take it all down.
They redacted everything, and that's when everybody's like, okay, I mean, something's up, man, and something's out there at Area 51, and you know, you would listen to Art Bell and shit. You know, those. That's what got me so into that shit.
Well, dude, you gotta plan so Josh Turner, he does a Paranormal Roundtable, and he's throwing another convention here. I think it's going to be in September.
Where
right here in Austin.
Shit.
In Austin, in
September. I'll go.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to get off and go, or at least show up. You know, even if I can show up after work or take half a day or something. But dude, it's like right down the road from my crib. So I mean, we could freaking make it a weekend.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah.
Party down and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like show up the next day off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this one.
Dude, I'm down. I love going to those, man. You meet some interesting people and it gets the creative things going, you know. What is it? Kids. But yeah, that would be cool, man. I'd be really down for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of my buddies, Matt Imp, she also does content. He has a pretty cool channel. It's called Planet 412. You should check him out too.
Let me write that down. Planet 412.
Yeah, Planet 412, and the other one's Paranormal Roundtable. And he's in Ohio, and he was going to come down for the conference, and he was like, "Yeah, I gotta get a hotel, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "I'm like 30 minutes away, dude. Just get a rent a car, crash here, and yeah, we'll after we'll post conference party and shit." So
yeah,
that it ought to be interesting.
Yeah, I need more. I need more people that are interested in this stuff to be around, because everybody's, like I said, all my regular friends are different.
Right.
I got a 45-year-old friend that's more worried about chasing tail now because he's newly divorced. So that's all he cares about. You can't get these guys. But back in the day, I would always try to get like my normal group of friends to go do all this shit with me, and they would never do it. Well, they would sometimes. Yeah. I could drag their ass out. And I remember when I started doing this, it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I said, let's fucking go to where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house was. And I got everybody together. Jake was there, and it was fucking cool. It was like, man, I feel like I'm living now, because we're finding these old fucking gyms, and
yeah.
God dang. And that was Quick Hill, Round Rock, Texas.
Yeah.
And now what is it? Is completely developed now?
Yeah, it's all developed, yeah, as far as I know. Yeah.
Isn't that a bummer, man?
It is, dude. Yeah, but I mean, they still got the house out in Kingsland. But
yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
true.
not the same location.
It's not the same location.
But
what was cool, man, is meeting Terry McMean and telling her that I fucking saw the damn crepe myrtle trees are still there from. Remember when she's sitting on the swing when she walks into the house? Remember those crepe myrtle trees, and they're still there. Well, me and Jake went there that time. We went and picked up. We got some fucking barbed wire because the ending scene of them slashing her. The fucking barbed wire's right there. I had to get the barbed wire, and we picked up all kinds of shit. Some metal pieces from, I guess it was like a barn or something, one of the barns. But I was telling her that those crepe myrtles are still there. That was around her fucking bench, man. That was so cool.
Right. Yeah, my buddy that owns the gas station from the movie. He has like jars of dirt from the foundation.
Does he?
In the house.
Dude, aren't we crazy? Aren't we crazy? We collect all this shit. It's just so fucking like, man.
Yeah, but it's cool, man. It's a cool, side piece, I guess you could say, because none of us really want to be trapped in this 9-to-5 regular book. So it just goes to it's a release, you know what I mean? You actually get to go out and and what got me started doing the platform is it was like I absorbed so much of all these different people and channels and old documentaries, since I was a kid. And it's like I got to where I was answering ahead of everybody that I'm watching. They're like, oh, and the blah, 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 the Wright Patterson, I'm all Patty. And they call her Patty, so I'm like, dude, I know way too much about this shit. So I gotta actually put my spin on it,
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a similar channel, and but I'm not getting enough. I mean, I think my close friends would probably listen to it. I know you would. But I just, I got to get it going. And
it's weird, dude. Yeah, it's weird, man, because like what I've been noticing is most of the people who listen to my stuff are like people that are already on the other channels. They're either in the chat or but like out of all my homies, I got 30 1,300 friends on Facebook. I got all the old rappers and people.
Yeah.
They won't touch it with a stick, dude. They're like, oh, cool. And I'm like, dude, come on, check out the page. And they're just like, I don't know, you know. And I'm like,
yeah,
come on, man. You love me,
mean, so it's not for some people, but man, this is like some interesting shit. I think it is. I mean,
I do. Yeah.
I love
I mean, all of it, man. Paranormal, UFO, the whole, cryptids, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I follow a lot of interesting people in this. I'm friends with goddamn on Facebook. I'm friends with so many people that are involved in this shit. Richard Doty, the guy that, oh God, you know that guy. He was like, he worked for the government and now he's out. I mean, I have so many like interesting friends on Facebook that. Oh man, one of the best, and I guess he got kicked off or some shit. Hoss Lors, he wrote a book about the Skinwalker, and the story behind that is so bizarre, man. To sum it up, a dog comes to his property and attacks an animal or something, and he had to kill the dog. It was an aggressive dog. He beat it with a 2x4. Well, he went and told his wife, hey, I just killed this crazy rabid dog or whatever. He goes outside and he sees that the dog's not there and there's footprints in the snow leading away, blood and everything. The guy gets sicker than a dog. Now, at this time, he's teaching at a school somewhere in the Navajo Nation. It's called Greasewood, Arizona. One of his buddies is a native, and he says, I think this dude's sick. He's throwing up. He's just deathly ill. He feels like he's going to die. And I'm just summing up this story. He's got a book on this. And so he says, I'm going to take you to a medicine man. He says, a medicine man? I'm a fucking white guy originally from like Ohio and shit. So he takes him to this medicine man. And one thing he says before he gets in is a little kid got scared when he saw him come in because he saw some man come in with them, which was an evil man. They say their thing, do whatever the tribal thing does, and they make him drink this stuff, and he immediately throws up and he immediately feels better. So what he did, that medicine man said that he got attacked by a skinwalker. So when he hit that dog, something off that dog got into his pores. And if you listen to what these people say about skinwalkers, they say it's bad to even talk about it.
Yeah.
They have bones from a corpse, and they make it a powder and they blow it. And that's what gets on you and shit. And he said that medicine man helped cure him, but he wrote a book out about this.
Crazy.
It's fucking, yeah, I think, God dang, his name is Hoss Lors, Hosslors. He was on my Facebook. I know he's a Trump guy. I know he gets banned a lot, and that's probably what happened to him. But he sent me, man, on Messenger. It was a couple years ago. He says, dude, check this shit out. Look at these fucking lights, and you tell me what you think it is. And he lives in Sedona, Arizona. And there were some lights on the ridge, and him and his buddies were filming it. And they're like, what the fuck is this? But he sees a lot of fucking UFOs too. And I don't know, man. He's an interesting cat for sure.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check that out, dude.
Yeah, his name's Hoss Lors. He's been on a few podcasts talking about his story. It's very interesting, and yeah, it's interesting shit. I can't wait, man. We're headed to Monument Valley here in 40 something days, and I mean, I hope I don't run into a skinwalker, but we're just excited, man.
Monument Valley. What's the story behind Monument Valley?
Well, Monument Valley's all the old John Wayne movies. You know where Forrest Gump was running and he said he was done running. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the mountains in the background, the cool looking rock formations. That's Monument Valley, and that's Navajo Nation. That's That's Navajo owns that.
Right.
And, yeah, so it's a really cool little spot. We have a room that we're staying in for like 2 days, and it's just it's Native American country. It's going to be interesting.
So
all through there.
There's legends and lore of UFO, skinwalker,
everything out there. I mean, it's a hotbed for what we like, man. Everything's out there. And the one thing about natives that I've talked, I like being around natives. Like I told you, my grandmother was full. We're all Irish and shit, but grandma, she was full. God dang, she's from Carnegie, Oklahoma. She was born and raised on a reservation up there. And golly, I can't think of the name of the tribe, but we're all raised around that. So down here in South Texas, you don't really see many natives, but when
just me.
Yeah, just you. Yeah. And, I always thought that was so cool because Jake would always say, yeah, Breezy's native, man. And like, man, we don't see very many natives down here.
Mm-mm.
I have this connection with Native Americans. I feel like, they're like my brothers and shit and sisters. And so when we go to New Mexico and I meet a native, I mean, it's just so good to talk to somebody like this. Like you can't really see them guys down here. So when you go up there to Arizona, and you even go to a gas station, they're so kind. They're just nice people. And they're into that stuff. They like to tell you about spiritual things. And man, I'm just all ears when I hear these guys talk. I mean, they have such good, Mother Earth, and they have all these peaceful things that they speak of, and their stories are they're awesome. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Not to change the subject, but this is another one you probably want to check out. It's a book. It's called Lame Deer, like Lamedeer.
Let me write that.
And it's about this native that grew up right at the turn of the century. So he saw like the last bit of the 1800s, and then he saw all the way to like 1970s. But just his stories, like he did everything. He was like in Wild Bill's freaking rodeo show, and like I think he was a rodeo clown. He got native prison for stealing cars, like stealing res cars and shit like that. Like it's just very interesting life, but also a very interesting perspective on on just the ideology behind it all. You know, so he talks about how like he saw the transition of currency. So so back in the Gap, like after there were battles and shit between the American army and the Native Americans, there'd be money, like laying in the fields and stuff, and all the kids, they would just pick it up, and they called them frog skins because they were green.
Right. Yeah, they did.
And so he said that they would be sitting there, and the kids would just use them as paper, and make little dolls and stuff out of them, and that whenever other soldiers would come around for like peace treaties and stuff like that, they'd be like, "What the that's like like a whole year's worth of money." Like, what are you talking about? This is green paper, dude. Like, calm down, dude. It's not worth anything.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome, man. Yeah, there was another one where his uncle had like I forget how many silver dollars, maybe 5 or 10 silver dollars, and he punched holes in them and made them buttons on his jacket, and some white dude saw him, man, and he was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like, dude, and he's like, and his uncle tells him, he's like, "Well, how much did you buy your jacket for?" And he's like, $20 or something, like whatever. Yeah. And he's like, and now it's not worth anything. He's like, mine's still worth, yeah, like,
hell yeah,
it still holds the value.
That's awesome, man.
But just that mindset, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always found that fascinating.
Heck yeah, man.
But yeah, well, that's cool, man. You're gonna actually go all the way up there, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, like I said, dude, we'll make a trip. And you know, and I was even we were talking on PRT last night, and there's even some little hot spots around here, like Brushy Creek and stuff.
Yeah, what's I've heard of that. What is Brushy Creek?
So yeah, Brushy Creek's it's like a real. Man, I've never personally been there, but I've heard of it, you know, growing up. But a lot of very weird, high strangeness, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's up here north of, it's probably about an hour north of where I'm at. So it's not that far. But yeah, that we'd have to go check that out. And it's apparently it's part of the, so there's a common ideology, or there's a common conception that, so you know you have Natural Bridge, and then you have
the caverns over here,
right?
yeah.
But that they go from Natural Bridge, they go all the way up to Georgetown, and then from there that whole underground cavern system runs all the way through Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, and then all the way up to Maine. So
no,
like we're so we're like the bottom of that entire, and
so Mammoth that goes Cave, all the way.
Yeah, it like goes out of Texas and then starts just going on.
I'll be damned, I did not know that.
Yeah, so so that goes into the whole inner earth, you know, because Mammoth Cave is one of the main inner earth entrances in the world, because it's, you know, that's what so yeah, even if you look up like maps to Agartha and to Shambhala and stuff like that, which are these inner earth cities, Mammoth Cave is one of them. There's another one in the Himalayas. Mount Shasta is another one.
Mount Shasta, yeah. There's a lot of weird shit that goes on at Mount Shasta, man. I've heard some shit that will blow your mind. I can't believe it, you know, but it's fucking out there.
Yeah, and that's one of those spots. Like if someone's like, "Yeah, let's go to Mount Shasta," I'm gonna be like, I don't know that.
I don't know if I got enough LSD for that shit, dude. That's
for real, dude. You better get. That's gonna, just to make that decision is gonna require 18 beers and a half a bottle of whiskey, dude. Before I even say yes. You know?
Yeah, that's some fucking way out there shit, dude. I heard some shit about that place, man. Seeing people with long blonde hair and shit.
Yeah, the tall whites. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a documentary about that, man.
Yeah.
Out there at that back gate of Area 51, man.
And then you'll see the freaking UFOs fly right into the side of the mountain. Like there's like a garage door on it.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that cavern system, that's kind of what everyone's kind of relating to. A lot of these, you know, these cryptids and these beings, that they're actually really coming from the inner earth, you know. And so any place where there's a lot of little entrances and caves, and apparently there's a bunch of smaller cave systems in Brushy Creek that go, you know, that are unexplored, and they go down. So like, are these, you know, little, you know, peepholes that they're coming through, you know?
It could be. So where is Brushy Creek? Is that near you?
Yeah, it's right kind of, it's east of Round Rock. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do believe. Yeah, unless I'm thinking of the wrong one.
Okay, yeah, so
I think it's out there like 79, like past Hutto or something like that.
Are these closed off to the public? Like,
no, you can go out there and go. Yeah, now you can go venturing.
Wow.
So, yeah, we'll have to do some.
Yeah, dude, I'm down with that. Yeah, hey, speaking of weird cave systems, have you ever heard of Mel's Hole?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's another one on my bucket list, man.
I am well versed in Mel's Hole.
Yeah.
You know, you can find it, but you can only get like within I think a 10-mile radius in it, because if you Google that spot in Washington,
it's
blocked
out. Like
out.
it's yeah, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that name of that town, man? It's like
I forgot the name
it's
of
like
the
a
town.
chick's name or some shit.
Yeah.
Elizabethtown or some shit like that. Yeah.
There's a so I don't know how well you know the Mel's Hole thing. So don't let me ramble if you already know it. But so after Mel left, and then he got notified by, I want to say the Dulce tribe,
New Mexico.
Yeah, in Dulce, New Mexico.
Yeah.
And there's a tribe there that owns the land, and they contacted him, and they're like, "Hey, Chief wants to come. He wants to chop it up with you, you know. So come on out here." So he showed up, and sure enough, they had a hole too. And so one of the things about Mel's Hole was he found this like you know how like the little Chinese envelopes, you know, for like money and stuff like that, like a little paper envelope.
Right.
He found one by the hole, and it had these. I think they were. Don't quote me on the year, but like 1945 Roosevelt dimes. And he didn't think nothing of it. So he was like, there was like 10 of them, and he made belt buckles with them on them, and he was selling them just to make a little extra money. And so when he went to this, so the weird thing about the dimes is that Roosevelt hadn't died yet. So there were no dimes in 1945 or whatever, right? So it was like, yeah, so they didn't exist at that time, because later on, he took one to a coin dude, and dude was like, "I'll give you $150,000 or some shit like that for it."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'll think about it." And he came back the next day, and it got confiscated by the government. And then that's when the government seized Mel's property. But I digress.
Yeah.
So he goes to this other hole, and the chief pops out Chinese envelope with the same 1940 whatever Roosevelt dimes in them, 10 of them identical. So it's like, you know, high strangeness, you know what I mean? Like what the hell's up with that?
And it's in Dulce, New Mexico?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and see that Dulce, New Mexico also is where that fucking there's a vista where they're saying that fucking Bigfoot is or some kind of fucking tall beings are just coming out of that fucking mountain. Right. And the natives there are saying this. They've been saying this for years, and there's an underground base, but they're denying it. And that's Dulce, New Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. I think either if it's not Dulce, I might be getting my stories mixed up, but there's a 4-part interview on Coast to Coast with Mel and Art Bell, right? And he talks all about it and that.
I'll have to revisit that one, man, because it's been a long time. But man, that you talk about a strange fucking.
Yeah,
I mean, I like the part where he says that he, you know, somebody threw their dog in there that had passed away, and they saw the dog with the collar on and shit.
Yeah, but it wouldn't even acknowledge him. Pet cemetery style shit. You know, yeah.
Strange shit, man.
Yeah, man. And when they lowered that goat into it, so they live tested on a goat and lowered him down in there, and he was like freaking out because no animals will go near it, no birds won't fly over it.
Yeah, they don't like to go near it. Yeah.
Right. And when they pulled it out, the goat was dead, and they basically gave it like a homemade autopsy kind of a thing, and said that this is just what he said. I don't know how much credit it holds, but said they had like this tumor in it, and then this tumor, you know, they pulled it out, and it came out of its shell, and it was like it said it looked like a little seal, like, and it was alive. And it said it was a seal. Yeah, it said it was either smiling or frowning. I can't remember which one. But as soon as it started coming and squiggling about, it started heading back to the hole. you know, and they just kind of followed it, and it went back and dropped itself back in.
Holy shit! It's almost like that fucking movie, The Pit, or whatever. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Like those little fucking things, man.
Yeah. The gate. Yeah, the gate.
Yeah, that's it. The gate. Yes. Golly.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, that is freaky, man. So it's like, you know, what the fuck was that? You know, but I think that part's in the interview also, because he's talking about how now he feels bad about you know, killing the goat, you know, how it was like at the time we were so into the research, you know, we just wanted to find out. And he's like, but now that I'm old, man, he's like, now I feel like crap about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was a good one, man. Actually, dude, pretty tripped out. I was on this other channel, and the host, I was just co-hosting on it, and the host, he's like, oh, I got a surprise for y'all tonight, fellas, blah blah blah. And we got to do a whole interview with Madman Markham on that. I don't know if you know who Madman Markham is. He's Madman Markham was he was this dude. He was like I don't know what you call it, like a tinker with electronics. So he was trying to make a giant Jacob's ladder, which is like, you know, has the two antennas and it goes bzz, bzz, bzz,
right,
yeah. And he like started making one. He made a badass one, and he was putting all the energy, like he almost blacked out his neighborhood, like, you know, 2 or 3 times trying to mess with it. But he ended up making a portal, and like he'd throw things in it, and then he'd like throw a screw in it, and then like 10 minutes later the screw ding 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 ding, you know, like somewhere in the room, yeah, and like show up. So he ended up going and stealing from the local power company. He stole like, I forget how many big transistors. So he's like gonna make a giant one, and he started throwing like couches and shit, like big, yeah. And then he got arrested for it, and they threw him in jail for it. And he came back out, and then he got on Art Bell. I forget if Art Bell got a hold of him or if he got a hold of Art Bell, but he started, you know, telling his story, and the listeners started funding him. So eventually he had like a whole warehouse, and he was making, you know, he was doing it big.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
Yeah, and this is in somewhere in like I want to say like Missouri or Kansas or something like that. And one day he was just like, yep, I'm going in, you know, and he went in, and he found himself I don't know if he was naked or what, but he found himself in the middle of a field in Ohio. Like, and it was 2 years, but yeah, it was 2 years later. So
no kidding. Dude, his last name was Markham?
Madman Markham, yeah.
How about check him out, man?
Yeah, so he ended up walking back, you know, or making his way back to where he was, you know, it was great. And then he was finding out that it's 2 years later, and then he finally gets back to his spot, and the government came and wiped all of his shit out. Like, they shut his warehouse down. They took all the equipment and everything. Yeah, so he went off grid completely, and like you weren't able to. No one could track him down. Like Art Bell tried to track him down. Everyone, he just disappeared off the face of the earth.
He's still like MIA or what?
Yeah. And so I guess this dude ended up hunting him down and finding him, and it was really crazy because like when we did 2 interviews with him, and the first one, he really wasn't talking a lot. Like, he wasn't saying much. He was like very skittish, you know. So I just started using my electronics background to try to, you know. So I'm like, okay, are we using like solid state devices, or are you using, you know, analog, you know, blah blah blah? What kind of signal generators were you using, you know? And then the second time he was a little bit more comfortable, but every time he talked, he's kind of a very nervous dude. Like he wanted to, you know, didn't want to be bothered. And Jen was like listening, and you know, my hearing is shit. She's like, I'm on the phone, you know, blah blah blah, interviewing. She's like trying to get my attention, and I'm like, I hit mute. I'm like, what? She's like, do you hear that? And I was like, what? And she's like, listen, every time he starts talking, you can hear like this clicking. And so it's like, you know how the people have the beads that they hold the hands when they get nervous and they tick, tick, tick,
Right.
tick,
Yeah.
you know, like
Those little,
a fidget. Yeah. Like a fidget kind of a
he
thing.
was holding on to those.
Yeah. Like he was like, you know, like that was his, you know, his safety blanket. You know what I mean? Like for getting nervous.
What happened
you know?
to him?
After that, he went completely off the grid again, and no one's heard from him since.
Fuck.
Like, yeah, he popped in and out, and that was it.
Yeah, that's like Men in Black type shit, you know, like you get too close to something.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, I wish I could see some of those type of people, man, because they say that they're fucking trippy. I heard one guy, I don't know who it was. It's reported though at that Skinwalker Ranch when somebody was trying to get in there, two men stopped them, and their face looked like it was. Their faces were fucked up, but one of them looked like it drew his like lipstick.
Like he drew his
tried
mouth
to draw
on.
a face like to make him look more human, and it just didn't work. So fucking weird.
Yeah, and then there's the smiling man. That dude, I forgot how that one exactly goes, but yeah, it was like a Men in Black type thing, and like the whole time he's just like,
holy cow, man!
Like he didn't know how to like he didn't know how to compose his face into a regular smile. So he's like
jeez, man. Oh, that would be trippy.
Hell yeah, dude.
Talk about I ain't saying shit. I ain't saying shit to nobody.
That's it. I give up. I'm not.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what happened to that dude. Like,
maybe, yeah, maybe you know, or they're like, hey, dude, we told you don't stop. You know, shut up.
Because that shit's real, man. And there's a really cool interview on YouTube of a guy that. He was an autopsy guy, and this is an older interview. The guy's probably dead by now, but it was on Dr. Stephen Greer's channel. So when that alien crash, that UFO crash happened in 1947, the guy, he lived in the Texas Panhandle, which is close by.
Cold. That's what it was. Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
He was an autopsy guy, and he said the Army over there was calling his office asking for how small of a caskets do you have? And he started getting, suspicious, and that's what it was for. Well, when he knew a woman in there, and he saw those beings on the table, that they saw these people saw that he was in there, and they fucking threatened him with all kinds of shit. And this guy's an old man. I mean, he's telling this story, and it's like, damn, man, is it really like that with these people? I mean, if you see something that you're not supposed to see, but apparently it is, man.
Right. Well, yeah, and it also works on the spiritual spectrum too, because when I watch a lot of these other channels, and whenever people start digging it, it's happened. I was on Matt Inch's channel, Planet 412, and whenever you start talking about some of the stuff, when you get too close to the truth, I guess,
right?
Like the electronics will start fucking up. Like we were talking, we got into shadow people, and like instantly, like we had a great connection. There was no problems. My internet was firing on all fours, so was his.
Right.
And all of a sudden, man, as soon as we started talking shadow people, it just started glitching out. You know what I mean? It was like, it could still be, considering technology, it could still be government style stuff, but if not, then it means all right, I got you, JD. I don't know how to throw a wrench yet, but if I do, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, and I'll get you on. but yeah, so like if it's not a technology based blocking system, then that means that it's all paranormal, that the men in black are the paranormal. So it's all spiritual. You know, it's not from this plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It comes from the other side of the veil.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah. So
Hey, Phil
that's
Schneider was another one. Did you ever
yeah,
hear that guy? Phil
yeah,
Schneider?
Bill Snyder, yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, yeah. And you know, but they've done it so many times, man. And you know, what was the one dude that was talking about how he went down into the caves in Dulce and
Yeah, it was that guy.
that's Phil Snyder, right? Same dude.
Yes, yo.
Can I have the massager?
It's downstairs, bud. Yeah, that was where he went down in the caves and yeah, that
Basically
was
had a shootout with him and it blew his hand off and
yeah, and they were like green berets down there.
yeah.
Very, very
But then he wound up, yeah.
Oh, hold on, man. Hold on. I think I got
No, you good.
hoodlums coming in here.
No worries. Yeah, and then they found that dude. He
Sorry.
quote unquote. They found he unalived himself, but he was like,
right.
Yeah, but he was like wrapped up with his own freaking catheter, and you know, like
yeah. How does that happen?
Because he didn't have both his hands were tied behind his back or some weird stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's like it. Yeah, they said it was a suicide, but yeah, it's fucking weird, man.
Yeah,
it's because he got too close to the truth, man. It's some scary shit.
Yeah, exactly. And there's another dude just recently. So when I went to Josh Turner's his conference, there's this guy. I can't think of his name. It's Joe something. Jackie, you might know his name off the top of your head. But he was a truck driver. He ended up this dog man was running alongside of his truck, and he, you know, like looking in and trying to get in through the window, you know, or trying to get through the door, and he had a 45 and boom and blasted that thing. Yeah, and he said he saw it go stiff, and then you know it like it had a brain injury, and it ended up going off into the woods, or you know on the side of the road by the woods, and he pulled his truck back around, you know, and came back around, and it was gone. And then like fast forward like a year later or something, he's going to like a weigh-in station, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you need to come with us," you know,
right?
And basically they took him inside. They made him wait for like an hour, and like the MIB showed up, you know, and they're like, "Yeah," and they're like, "We know you killed one of our assets," you know, and and they're like, and just to tell you, you know, that you don't ever talk about this ever again, you know.
Yeah.
And when he was at the convention, he was talking about how ever since he's like it took him like a couple years or whatever, and then he started, you know, going forward with
getting brave enough
to
actually
and they started like fucking with his bank account and freezing his funds. And Joe Barger, that's it, Eve. Thank you.
Joe Barger, I'll have to too.
Yeah, he did a couple interviews. He's in Josh Turner's book, the Dogman book, and he was on Planet 412 also. But yeah, but it was crazy. The weird part about it was when I was watching him at the conference, you could, you know, people like me or, you know, other people, you get to be able to read people very well.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he was literally physically shook while he's telling the story. He's not just telling like, oh yeah, you know, you know,
you could tell
dog shot him in the eye, and you know,
right.
Like,
you could tell he's being
like,
honest.
Yeah, you could tell, like you could hear the wiggle in the voice. You could see the the tension in his face. You could see him reliving it while he's telling it, you know. So it was like, yeah, I was like, yeah. Yeah, that guy ain't bullshitting.
You could just tell, like Bob Lazar. I believe him. You know Bob Lazar, the guy that broke the Area 51 thing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people saying he was a fraud, but I mean, god dang, the guy he's scared out of his mind. For one, he came forward because he was fucking scared, and it took him forever to like get them to. He kept saying, "This interview's terminated. I can't do it," you know. And he finally fucking came forward. You ever hear of how he got caught? Is fucking bizarre, man. How they were out there in the desert watching these craft fly around Area 51. He used to bring his buddies out there, and they said that one night they were out there watching this shit, and then all of a sudden they see on the hill, it was pitch black out there. They see something green tumble down the hill, and when they turn the flashlights on, there's a bunch of fucking army guys. I guess it's the security, what they call the camo dudes, held them up right there. But somebody dropped their fucking night vision goggles, dude, and it rolled down the hill, and that's what got their attention. They were being watched the whole time. It's crazy how they can fucking pinpoint where these guys are at all times.
Well, it's I think it was because, you know, Bob Lazar always talked about Element 80,
Element 15 or what was it? God, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And then I think it was John Lear.
Yeah,
and he was like, I went over to his crib, and I think it was John Lear, and then he went over to his crib, and they were checking it out, and like not even within like 10 or 15 minutes of them, you know, looking at that element, whatever it was, they kicked this freaking door in, and all it took.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
I definitely think we're getting closer to something, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you see all this shit starting to come out now, like.
Right, because we've never had a unified communication system like we do now with the internet.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's very dangerous, you know, on both sides. Because, you know, people who are like us that are seekers of the truth,
right.
You know, we're putting ourselves right out there in the middle of the crosshairs. But B, it's you know, on the other hand, for them, it's dangerous as well, because now we're putting two and two together like we never have before. You know, back in the Gap, when it was like newspaper articles and shit like that, you didn't know nothing unless somebody wrote the story about it. So, you know, you could have a Bigfoot sighting in Germany, you know, and you're never going to hear about it in New York. You know what I mean? Unless,
everything's I mean, everybody's starting to come out now and talk about it more open.
Yeah. And I find it weird too how some things.
Later, Breezy.
Later.
I
find it weird how
to the door,
how some things, you know, they'll let us sit here and rant and rave about, you know, cryptid and paranormal and stuff like that. But like I was talking to you offline, you mentioned the vid, or, you know, certain you know, how would I say it? How would I say it without saying it? Certain medical aspects of, you know, that are you know, or not controversial but conspiratorial. And that's it, dude. That you're out of there. Like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they see that one word and they're like, nope.
Yep.
You know, the AI flags you, and then before you know it, you're like,
that's what it is. I always wonder how that works, but you know, not to say about it, but that was a weird fucking time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very weird.
Or was it 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
Yeah, almost 5.
Fucking bizarre.
Almost 5 years ago.
Like I remember you know, at first we're like, the chick got off the plane here in San Antonio. That was like their first fucking case.
Yeah.
And then, dude, like, this is no shit. That fucking hotel that she stayed in. I worked for San Antonio Water System at that time. I was all over fucking San Antonio, the whole city. That hotel that she stayed at from the airport, that was the first case to come here.
Right.
She stayed at, it was called the Apple something Inn or some shit. They fucking shut that whole hotel down. I don't know what it is now, but they enclosed it. They fucking took it over and just boarded up the fucking windows, everything. I don't get it. And then she went to the mall and like everybody got pissed. Remember that? They were like talking about
wasn't it North
Star Mall?
North Star, yeah.
Yeah. But that hotel, from what I don't know what it is now, but they fucking boarded it up. I don't know. I don't get that.
That crazy.
Was so fucking weird, man.
That is that. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it because but getting back on the thing, it's weird also too, because like say if say they shut you down, you know what I'm saying, for talking about certain subjects and subject matter that is conspiratorial. Every time you go on YouTube, the AI is actually mapping your face and your voice. So like say if I got shut down on this channel, I try to open up another channel and they identify it. They shut you down right there. You don't even get it.
I did not know that, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Just to wrap your mind around that. And that's a public access channel. You know what I mean? That's not even government. So you know how our technology is always the technology we have access to. The military and government's had it for 20 plus years. You know what I mean? Right. We find out about everything 20 years late. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like GPS.
Dude, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
You know, I don't know sometimes if I should even have social media.
Yeah, I mean, for real.
Fine. This is like, but like having actual social media, it's kind of scary if you think about it.
Yeah, that's why I always had social media just strictly for SHSM and doing music. And now that I don't, like you hardly ever see me post. Like I'll post maybe if I'm gonna go live or something like that, or but I'm not really putting my opinions and stuff out there anymore,
Yeah, and it's probably best. I mean, I've noticed over the past couple of years there was a lot of I'm 45 years old, so we come from a different era. So when somebody says shit on social media, like if you say something on a Facebook post that you don't agree with, and they, there's always a tough guy, and I always resort to, motherfucker, it looks like you live in New Braunfels too. Why don't you just meet me somewhere?
Yeah.
They don't understand that. So it's best sometimes to just, my wife even tells me, don't get in a pissing contest with these people because you're going to end up getting in trouble. And now I just kind of, I always say talk is cheap. That's what I'll type. I'll put talk is cheap. Like, don't even go.
Yeah, dude. One of the other channels I'm on Tim's channel, man, it's like he goes on late and like, dude, before you know it, you'll see the Gen Zers like popping in, just talking like mad shit, and I'm like, all right, we're Generation X, like we're the fuck around and find out generation.
We'll ski mask your ass.
We'll meet you after school, no problem.
We're a different breed, man.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and then one of the dudes, I think JD was I think he was the one that backed me up. One of the dudes, I was like, yeah. And I actually fell into the pit. I was like, started getting back and forth with this cat. And I was like, dude, I'll fucking, the difference between you and me is I'll meet you. Like,
exactly.
I'll meet you. I'll meet you somewhere.
They obviously don't know breed.
I'll get a plane ticket. And the dude was, and he's like, yeah, I seriously doubt that. And I think it was JD that popped in, or him or Ryan Lee. They're like, yeah, no, Breezy.
Yeah.
he will meet you.
Yeah, I will buy the one eye open. I bet you that dude was starting to like realize, because you could tell when they realize.
Yeah, they stopped talking. Yeah, yeah.
I actually I got in some trouble in 2018. Long story short, my dog's snoring. In 2018, I had a guy write a letter or text to my wife, and she showed me. And long story short, I went up to her workplace and I confronted the guy, and yeah, I mean, I'm old school, and I took care of the problem. And you know, it's a different time, man, and I got in some trouble for it. And you know, visit from some people, not Men in Black, but
right, yeah.
Like they wanted to make sure that I wasn't, you know, trying to do something else to this guy. But like we were saying, we're from a different time, man. We don't put up with shit.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't know you were the same age as me. I thought you probably, I thought you were like Jake's age.
No, I'm an old cat, man. Not to say we're old, but yeah,
we're old.
I had just graduated high school when I met Jake and Mike, and Jake was, God dang, he would have been
Jake.
40,
yeah, Jake was. He's probably he's only 2 years younger than us.
Yeah,
you're 45. Because I'm 45.
Yeah, so yeah,
I think he was born in 80 flat. Yeah,
right. What's Mike, about 40? 40? He's
Mike's
close to 40 now.
Yeah, 1982. So 82, 92, 2002, 22. So he's what, 42 years old now, I guess, something like that.
Yeah, man, time's a flying, isn't it?
No. But they say, they say that they're like, time flies, but like it does, because if you look at it in a certain perspective. But if you look at it like when like a movie came out or something, like, and then you go, oh dude, that's a 25-year-old movie, man. Damn, I feel old. But if you can remember all the shit that's happened between now and then, you're like, no, that was a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, I went from this phase to this phase to this phase to this phase. So yeah,
exactly.
It was a long fucking time ago. I feel it. Yeah. I feel it. I feel it every morning when I wake up.
Yeah.
And like a body part doesn't work for some reason.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I'm starting to get, man. Like the fucking thing, arm fucking sore. Like what the fuck? I played basketball with these kids, man. My kids and them, full court basketball a couple weeks ago, and my calf fucking like locked up. I was like, what the fuck? I used to play ball. And I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, I've never felt that before. It just locked up.
Right,
man.
Right.
Part of getting old.
No, it's true, dude. Like, man, like a week ago, not even a week ago, I think it was like a few days ago. Like, I literally got out of bed, and hit my alarm and getting out of bed and like just stood up, and I'm like, oh god. my whole knee was like shot, and I'm like, what the
how did that happen? Shit.
Jake used to have this he used to say whenever we talk about that, he had I think it was from Dana Carvey or something, and he'd start laughing, Jake.
Oh god.
He's like, dude, he's like, yeah, Dana Carvey has a joke. He's like, yeah, man, now that I get older, he's like, I can pick up the remote and be like, oh, God. Like my elbow.
Shit. Hey, you got a good funny Jake story?
Oh, dude, too many to remember, man.
I know there's so many.
There's so many, dude. But no, I was actually telling on Tim's channel, I was telling old Jake dad jokes and shit. Like he had all the best dad jokes, He's like, what do you call a 6-foot midget? it's just a dude.
Yeah. Oh my God, those little jokes that he would say.
Oh yeah, dude,
God.
they were great, man.
Yeah, he was something else, man. There's just so many. I mean, he was hilarious, and God, the shit we would. Oh my God, we just had some wild time. I don't even think we can talk about it on here. It's just fucking.
Oh, we can. We just see. Yeah, it's like whenever you're like, you got any good Jake stories? It's just like it opens up the dam, and I'm like,
dude,
one or what era? You
yeah,
know, like,
I remember one that sticks out really good was, I remember I lived at my dad's house, and when Jake would come into town, we'd fight over him. It's probably like how you guys, like one group of friends wants to hang out with Jake, we have to fucking share him. So he came down. Yeah, and they would say, well, we want to take him to this party. Well, I had a chick over at the house coming over to the house. So I was like, all right, well, if you guys want to take Jake out, don't get him fucking drunk. I told him that. And they said, okay, we're going to take him to this party, blah, blah, blah. We'll drop him back off. Well, it's like 2 a.m. and I keep hearing something banging on the front porch and my dad's asleep. So I go out the back door and Jake's got headphones on and he's on the fucking porch swing and he's fucking banging because he's rocking, but he doesn't know he's hitting the fucking house, right? So I'm like, Jake, and I pull it, and he's like, you know how he is. He's very talkative, and he's like, dude, we had such a good time. I'm like, shh, hey, come in the fucking room, dude. And he's like, dude, oh, am I being loud? You know how he is. So I got him to come to the room, right? And I have this chick in there, and he's like, all right, dude, hey, I fucking love you. You know how he is. I'm like, all right, crash out.
Sorry,
dude.
man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, dude. I don't. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, he fucking lays. I tell him, pass out, dude. I hear fucking gurgling, dude. He's laying on his back. He fucking vomited all over the fucking place. So I fucking flip him over. I'm hitting his back, and Jake, you with me? You with me? He was okay, obviously. The next day, he had to clean that shit up. Oh my God! But yeah, he was something else, man.
Oh yeah, dude. That actually reminds me of one. It was I think it was the first time me and Jen hooked up. So we were playing a show in San Antonio, and it was for one of our label mates' birthday, Chaotic One's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And like we're all getting fucked up, doing the show, getting trash and shit. And then like me and Mike go outside to smoke a blunt, and like it was like almost time for last call. And so like go up there and go into the freaking club, you know, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, where the fuck is Jake at, man? We're gonna load him up in the Impala and, you know, head out. And I like look and I pan the room, and he's laying across the bar, like he's on top of the fucking bar, laying across it, passed the fuck out. And this chick's like, you know, like talking to the manager. They're like trying to get him up, and they're like fucking shaking the shit out of him and shit. And he's not fucking moving to save his life, dude. And I go up to him, I go, Jake, and he's like Breezy. like, get the fuck off the bar, dude. So I tell Jen, we were like dragging him to the car, and I tell Jen, I was like, hey, we're gonna go hang out at this hotel. You want to go, you know, kick it at the hotel and shit. And she's like, yeah, I'll come by the hotel, blah blah. And so we get this, it's right there off I want to say San Pablo. And it was like a little shitty old hotel, like still had the wood grain paneling.
Yeah, like the old school.
Yeah, and it was like, and it was crazy because it was like $65 a night, and it had a living room, and then it had like a divider, and it had 2 beds, and, you know, bathroom, and it was like, yeah, dude, that's like a suite, you know what I'm saying? And but it was on the shithole side of town. But so we throw Jake on the couch, Mike's on the other bed, me and Jen are on not my bed. And I picked the bed with the air conditioning blowing right on it because that's the move. That's how you get them under the covers, you know.
That's right.
And she goes to the bathroom, and Mike's like, he'll probably kill me if he sees this, but I don't give a fuck. He's like, hey man, he's like, you bang her, I'm gonna pretend I'm asleep. I was like, all right, I don't give a fuck. And so she comes out of the bathroom. She's like, it's cold in here. I was like, you can get under the covers. And it's like, so we're chilling, almost about to have like the moment, you know, like flight makeout session, you know. And all of a sudden, all you hear is like like someone left the sink on, like water fucking just flowing. We're like, what the fuck? Where the fuck is that? I was like, did you turn the sink? You know, and she's like, yeah. And we're like, me and Mike, his eyes popped open. We're like, fucking Jake. No, he's just pissing all over all over the fucking couch. And it had like a tile floor, so it's just like running off the couch.
Yeah, dude. Oh shit,
like,
dude.
Jake, son of a bitch. So we ended up having the next day. We stole a towel from and put it in my Impala. So just
God, dude. Yeah, that's not the first time that's happened, man.
Oh no, dude. No.
Yeah, jeez.
Dude, I think my couch here at the house, man, is still like half full of fucking soaked fucking Budweiser from him just, you know, passed out and pouring it all down the damn couch. But like the last few times that we hung out before he passed, me and him were having like some really, really, really deep conversations. And it was due to my buddy. He ended up getting like, I bought from him like 5-10 strips of acid. And so like Jake would come over for the weekend and we just dose and just talk about freaking life and everything. And, you know, and everything about his dad. You could see like all the depression he was going through. But it was, I thought it was very therapeutic because, you know, it was helping him try to deal with all the bullshit in his head. And I guess, you know, we don't always win the war, you know what I mean?
I know.
So,
I know.
You know, it was a damn shame that everything went down the way it did. But I can say that those last 5 or 6 times that he came over and stayed the whole weekend, they were some of the most peaceful. Like we just literally kicked it like boys, you know what I mean? He's like, dude, I'm telling you things I wouldn't even tell my brother. You know, you're like my brother now, and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah,
like dude, I'm like we've always been brothers, bro. You know, like don't think too much into that shit.
Yeah,
but you know.
Oh, dude, he adored you, man. He really fucking looked up to you. You know that. He fucking. I used to love hearing his story. He'd talk about shit, and he'd start doing that. You know how he'd laugh and shit. Just, oh my god, dude. He would always tell me, shit, fucking dude, Breezy fucking did this. Like, oh my god, it was.
Yeah, but I mean, and on the same note, like I looked up to him a lot too because, you know, he would put things in my nugget that weren't there before. You know, because you know I was a very shoot from the hip kind of guy and very angry. Like I didn't take people's shit for shit, you know. And I remember before he passed, like he just told me we were having some kind of conversation. I was talking about someone. I know who I was talking about, but I'm not going to mention him. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm gonna fucking just bust that motherfucker on sight. Like as soon as I see him, fuck that dude. You know, like he did me dirty. And Jake was like, dude, just be nice, dude. Just
You're right. He talked like that. Yeah. He had a way with kind of like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Come on, dude. He was like, just be nice, dude. Just, you know, don't worry about it. You know, and I'm like, damn it, Jake.
It's like, well,
I was looking so forward to kicking his ass. Now I gotta be nice.
Yeah, man. And he would do that to me too. Like if I would get in a little argument with my wife, because we've been together for 100 years, you know, and he was always around, you know, so he would say, "Hey man, just chill out, man, just chill out. It'll be cool." And I would be like, "Jake, you don't understand." He's like, "But dude, just hear me out, hear me out." And he was like a counselor, man.
Yeah.
You know what's cool, man, and I haven't told very many people this. I've actually only told my wife and my kids.
Right, Jackie.
I take this shit called magnesium. It's for bed, right? It helps you chill and shit. So I take it at nighttime. At least 5 times I've had Jake dreams, you know.
Yeah.
And everything's good, and he doesn't look the same though. It's fucking weird. It's like I don't see him as long haired. He's like younger, but he's in at least 5 times I've had dreams. And I'll tell my wife, like, dude, I had a dream about Jake and he's okay. It's fucking weird, man. And it's like when I'm in, like, I guess you call it REM sleep.
Yeah.
It's like when I fucking pass out, I pass out. When I take that shit, it's like helps me fucking sleep good. And I'll have those kind of dreams, and it assures me that he's okay.
That's good, man. Yeah, I've had 2 since he passed.
Yeah.
And, and it was bugging the shit out of me for a while because I was like, man, you know, like, because I went, you know, like months, and I was like, dude, it was bugging me spiritually. Like, I haven't seen him, I haven't talked to him, you know, like even in my dreams or anything. And then I think it was, I can't remember what it was, but I ended up getting like a bunch of new shit that he would have dug. I don't remember exactly what it was, but like he showed up and I was like chilling and he knocks on the door or whatever. You know how dreams are. It's like,
right. Yeah.
Weird. But, and I was like, oh, Jake, I've been meaning to show you this, dude. Check this out. Check that out. He's like, dude, fucking badass, bro. Dude, oh, man, you know. And, you know, it was one of those. And there was this one that, because I don't know if you know, but me and him kind of got into an argument right before he passed. And
no, I didn't know.
We weren't on talking terms. Like because you know he was going through that depression thing, so he owed me money and shit, and he was like dodging me, and so I finally got a hold of him, and I was like, dude, you know what's up? He's like, oh man, I just, you know, I don't have the money, I haven't been going to work. I was like, then just fucking say it, dude. I don't care. It's 100 something, but you know, there's no way $100 is gonna come between it. I was like, but you dodging me is being fucking shitty. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be like, hey, Brady, you know, you're my brother. I fucking understand. So what? Fucking money ain't shit. I'll give you if you, you know, like when his pops passed, I gave him $800, you know, just to help take care of things. You know, what's $130 fucking dollars, dude?
Exactly.
You know, but I found a factor out because when that, you know, Jake loved his comic books and so when that Marvel movie, Thor: Love and Thunder came out, he was like so pissed off about it. He's like, dude, it's fucking goofy. And like those, I guess those, the screaming jackasses or mules or whatever. He's like, no, those things are supposed to be scary and vicious, you know? And so he's like, he had a bone to pick with the fucking movie. And
typical.
Right. And then like this is then fast forward, you know, and me and him aren't talking. And I remember it was probably maybe a week or 2 before. And I saw a theory about it because in that movie that rock dude Krog or whatever, and he's like a silly dude, you know, in the Thor movies. He's the one telling the story to a bunch of kids. You know, it starts out with him going, and there was this one time when Thor had all these people, you know. And so, and it's like, that's why it was funny, and that's why it was goofy and silly, because he's telling the story. The goofy motherfucker's telling the story, so it sounds goofy. And I literally picked up my phone and I was just gonna fucking text him that I was like, oh, I figured it out. But like my fucking, you know, my shit got to me, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm still mad at him, you know?
Yeah.
And I wish to God I wish to God I would have sent that text message, but you know.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean, he knows it now.
He knows it now. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. And you know, I didn't know he literally lived down the street from me all that time. I had talked to him in March. That was the last time I talked to him. So all this summer, I didn't know Mike was living there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. Yeah,
I didn't. I had no idea until this all went down. I was like, wait, where? Literally like 4 miles from me. And I'm like, well, dude, I could have all this time, because I knew he had some money problems, and I tried to help him, but he wouldn't answer the phone.
Right. Yeah, that's how it got, because I did hit him up, even though we weren't talking. I did hit him up twice. Once about my daughter Jessie getting married. And I was like, dude, I know me and you are, you know, not talking right now, but you know, this is beyond us. You know, your niece is getting married.
Exactly.
And then another time, it was like a couple weeks before, you know, he pulled the bullshit, and his mom hit me up, and she's like, he said he's had enough, and he's, you know, over it, and he left, and now I can't get a hold of him and shit. And
was that the same day?
No, it was like a week before it. And so I texted him up, and I was like, dude, I was like, you know, like, it's not that bad. It'll get better. You know, for every low, there's a high, you know. And I was just like, man, just take care of yourself. Don't do anything fucking stupid, you know. And that was the last one. Then like a week later, I was hanging out with my daughter Jessie and her husband, and fucking Wesley called me up. He's like, dude, are you sitting down? I was like, I fucking do it like instantly. I was like, fuck. God damn, yeah, I'm sitting down. What? And he's gave me the news. And I was like, son of a bitch, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it fucking hurt. Mike texted me. I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. Yeah. But I mean, I think he's hurt for a long time, and there was nothing we could have done. I mean, we tried, you know.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, it was just.
Yeah, no, I fully believe that. Like, you know, and that's whenever I talk to my uncle, because him and my uncle were.
Yeah, they were close, right?
Yeah, they were close. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how, because they're both Army dudes, you know. So that's, and literally, that's how I broke the news to him. I was like, yeah, Jake went AWOL. You know, once again, Jake went AWOL. I was like, fuck this. And but you know, but the positivity in all of it is that all the good times way supersede, you know, the negativity of all that shit. Like, dude, those memories and everything that we all went through, you know, and even how like he transversed friendship from all the way from your neck of the woods all the way to mine, you know, and how we all kind of meshed, even though we didn't like kick it, but we were still like every time we see each other, it's like, dude, like we're old homies.
Fucking A,
it was through him. It went through.
He was very magnetic too. And you know, it's crazy. My wife is like she doesn't trust people, but fucking Jake, man, I've never seen. She cried hard, man, and she still does. She, you know, because Jake was. How can you dislike the guy? I mean,
he's
a fucking, you know, he's great with your kids. He's just, I mean, he's just something else, man.
Yep, and he had hair better than Sebastian Bach.
No shit, right? I used to fucking tell him, dude, because at first, you know, I was like, dude, just wait, you're gonna be like me, because he get the little patch, you know, and he never fucking would.
Nah, dude.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, he just got. He got more Fabio the older he got.
Yeah. Oh my God. And you know, one thing I'll never forget is when you called that guy Sam Jake 2020, dude. Oh, at my wedding, Sam, the got long hair, 2020. And you said, you can't, you're like, yeah, Jake talks to that guy, it's gonna fuck up the future. So fucking shit, dude. Oh my
dude.
God. Good time.
I remember that.
Like you can't talk to words, you go fuck up the future. Do you remember that night? It was the after we went to that house for that party. Y'all were driving back to Bastrop.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen with Jake. Mike didn't want him to drive with beer, and he had those baggy pants on, and y'all were about to leave back to Bastrop, and he goes, "All right, Jake, take them out of your pocket." And Jake's like, he rolls his eyes and he pulls out 2 fucking beers, right? And Mike goes, "All of them, Jake." And he's like, "Motherfucker." And he had them stashed in his pants. He just kept pulling them out. We were laughing every time he'd pull more out. Like, God damn, this motherfucker was just to drive to fucking Bastrop. God, yeah, I miss that motherfucker, man.
Yeah. I remember your wedding when we were all standing around the circle bullshitting and Ralph came up and started, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Breeze, this is Ralph," and Ralph starts talking, and I looked at Jake, I'm like, I am so fucking disappointed. I was like, I thought he talked like this. That was their impression. Yeah, I'm Ralph. I talk like this. And he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my God. I used to instigate shit with him and Ralph. I'll tell you a quick story, man. Jake used to live, him and Aunt Wanda and Kitty lived in a trailer down the street from my house, right? There's it was at night. There was 5 fucking street lights down that way. Him and Ralph had some fucking, they didn't get along for something during that time, and they were calling the landline, and I'm like, "Yeah, well, Ralph's over here right now. He says he's gonna kick your ass." And he's like, "Fuck that motherfucker." And Ralph's like, "Yeah, tell his bitch ass to come over here right now." So I'm like, "Yeah, hey, you heard him right." And Jake hung up on me. And I went and stood in the street because I'm instigating all this shit. I'm telling Ralph, I said, "I think he's coming, dude." I see Jake fucking come on the street light and then disappear. And that he was marching so fucking. Oh, so long story short, he finally gets to my house, and I didn't let it happen. I was like, "Yeah, guys, yeah, y'all get along." Jake was pissed, man.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, when he got pissed, dude, it's hard to talk him out of his tree, man.
Yeah, dude. There was a guy in Marion that kicked his ass, and it pissed me off. I got so mad. It was a fair fight. Jake lost, and it was over a dog. I guess this guy kicked the dog or whatever. And Jake's like, "Dude, don't fucking kick a dog in front of me." Well, they fought. It was a fair fight. We were there to make sure nobody jumped in. Jake lost. Well, Jake tried to have a rematch, and I wouldn't allow it. I was like, "No, you're not doing that shit." He was like my little brother. I didn't want to see him get fucking hurt. Yeah. It hurt me to fucking see him get hurt.
See him get hurt, yeah.
Yeah, and if anybody was mean to him, dude, I remember one night, man, we were at a party in San Antonio, and I didn't know any of these people. We were like friends of a friend. Jake got real drunk and started acting like Jesus, as he does. And he was doing that shit where he'd dude, listen. He'd try to whisper, but he'd go up to your ear. He's like, dude, just hear me out. And I'm like, "Dude, you're yelling." Well, some guy at that party was like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" And I got livid. I was like, "That's my friend, motherfucker. Don't talk about him like that." I was like, jeez, I was just so protective of him.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know how many times we'd be chilling and shit, and dude, he thinks he's being quiet and shit, but he's like, dude, and blah, blah, blah. And fucking Jen would fucking come. It'd be 3, 4 in the morning. She comes storming out of the fucking room. "Well, shut the fuck up, Jake. God damn it. You're so fucking loud." He's like, I'm sorry.
It's the bass in his voice. It would rattle the damn walls, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You just hear it. The real deep talk.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then and what's funny is he would be talking to you, and he'd be he'd tell you something that you "Oh yeah, I know that one." so have you heard? Let's just bring up any subject or whatever. Have you seen that new movie? Oh yeah, I saw it. Hey, you remember that time where he's like, blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that. And then he was like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I just said it. I fucking remember. And it just escalates like you don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, did you see that movie? Right? And I'm like,
oh, dude, he loved his movies, dude.
oh yeah, dude.
Fucking Conan, dude. Conan.
Dude,
it was always about the Conan.
Dude, I got a funny one, man. So one time Jake got drunk, and this is back in the VCR days. But I was still in this house, and he got drunk and he fucking put on some porn, and it was still like, because it rewinds and then starts playing again and rewind.
Yeah.
And so he passed out, and I guess my kids woke up for school and they like walk in the living room. There's like porn blasting on the fucking TV and shit. And so I was like, Jake, no more fucking porn in the fucking house, dude. Come on, man. And I was hurting for bread, so I went to the Texas gun show or whatever to go sell my 308, and I ended up selling it to this dude, my uncle's homie, and on his wall he had a fucking saxophone, and Jake loved to play saxophone, so I was like, I'll sell it to you for whatever I needed for rent and the saxophone. And he was like, all right, bet. So I like come in and I'm like spent all fucking day at the gun show and spent almost all freaking night. It's like 2 a.m. by the time I get home. Yeah. And so I walk in with his saxophone, like gonna surprise him and shit. And like I walk in, and all you hear is and like this chick on it, and I was like, and I looked at it and I was like, what the fuck are they wearing, like fur and shit? And I was like, Jake, I fucking told you. I was like, I told you no more fucking porn, dude. What the fuck? And I got snapped on it. He's like, no, dude. No, it's Conan. It
was that part, right? That part where you threw that fucking hut.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, shit. That's fucking hilarious. God dang, man. He was something else, man.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Well, man, we need to get together, man, and do some.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's 12:16, and I know you got to wake up bucket ass early.
Oh, yeah. I got a fucking early morning.
Yeah, so I don't want to keep you, man. I'm just
shit, man. It was fun, man. We covered a lot of stuff, man, and I'm down for anytime you want to talk paranormal, man. I am there.
Right on, yeah. Well, I mean, shoot, like I got another homie of mine, so like Sundays, me and him are gonna just start doing a regular, just chop it up about kind of like what we were just talking about, old school shit, and there's not going to be any particular subject matter, but if you want to lock in Saturday nights, any Saturday night you want.
Yeah, usually Saturday night. I wake up so early during the week. I go to bed around 10, but I wake up at like 5 because these kids, they got to fucking get on the bus and shit, and we got to feed them. And it's mornings are fucking early around here now until summer. But that's one of the things I've been wanting to do is, do something like this, but you can't do it early. You got to do it at night, man. It's just like our bill shit, you got to do it at night.
Well, we can also, I know you got a work schedule. Because like my schedule is, I'll basically work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then on Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, I'm off, and Thursday I'm off. But if we ever got to do one, there's a different option. We don't have to go live. So like if you're like, so we can pre-record a show.
Yeah, cool.
And do it that way too.
Hell yeah, man.
The gig is my because I'm way out in the country, so like my internet is really from like 5 to about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock it's slow and it creeps. And I think they're in the beginning of this thing because we went on kind of early for
right.
my internet, and it was lagging a lot. And I think that's why dude said there was no sound. Al said there was no sound.
Oh,
But yeah, but like if it's earlier than that, like say if you just happen to get the day off, or if it rains you out or whatever,
right?
Then you just be like, hey man, I don't have to go in tomorrow, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
you know, we can get on at like noon or something, and you know, chop it up and do it pre-recorded. Yeah,
because those days happen, man. In construction, I mean, when it rains, nobody's calling, you know, or they'll call and say, hey, we're not coming in today, you know.
Right. So yeah, so if you ever get those, or if you just want to do a regular Saturday night thing, that's cool too, man. Just
man,
keep me posted.
Yeah. And I'll try to make some get some content going and try to get some people do these things. I'll get you to go with me to Yorktown, man. Look, when you get a chance, look up Yorktown Memorial Hospital. You'll trip out. Right. I think if you guys are with me, I mean, I'll do it. I'll film it. It'll be some good shit. There's definitely some people get scratched in that motherfucker. So I mean, it's a trip, bro.
So, okay, come go get scratched with me, man. It'll be fun.
Yeah, come get scratched.
But no, I think we barely scratched the surface of like our future talks about like all this paranormal and UFO activity, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think we still got hours and hours of
yeah, dude. Yeah,
you know, content communication about it. So
yeah,
we definitely got to. Yeah, we definitely got to keep the train running because
sure,
you know, yeah, sure, no doubt. All right, man. Well, shit. If you want to say anything to anybody,
hey, thanks. I got to read all these. Man, there's some cool people on here saying some stuff. Conan. Yeah, I keep forgetting that there's a chat here. But everybody follow me on social media. What is it? Skies of the Southwest Media. Goddamn YouTube channels like Woody's Travel Channel. There you go. There's some old school Chainsaw Massacre film location stuff on there. But yeah, follow me on Facebook. I do a lot of weird shit. Take pictures of weird shit. A lot of weird.
That's phenomenal photos too, man. So some of those photos that you post, man, I'm like, dude, that is.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? Jake was a damn good photographer too. The ones that I have in Marfa from him actually taking it with my camera. So that dude was a talent, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll chop it up next time, and we'll get some ideas going, and if we can get some like interesting guests too, you know, some of these people I'm friends with, you know, that'd be cool to just kind of try to get them on the show or something.
I think I can have up to 6 or 10 people on this thing at one time.
Yeah, I didn't know this was like a thing. I didn't know that we could do this. This is pretty cool. I thought you were gonna have to like Skype me or fucking do FaceTime or something.
No, it's you pay $200 for a year of it, but you know, $200 for a freaking year, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, because you can add your own music. Al Gore says Skies of the Southwest, right?
Yes, Skies of the Southwest Media. Skies of the Southwest Media. We're on Facebook, and the YouTube is Woody's Travel Channel. And I think YouTube's weird. I think that's what my channel's called. It's like the Woody's Travel.
He just subbed to you, bro. You got a sub out of the show,
man. I appreciate it.
He's this dude Al Gore. He's actually out of San Antonio too.
Cool. Well, then he knows a lot of these places too, man, and he'll be good. It'll be good to chop it up with him too. Have him on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm gonna get ready for bed. I got an early morning in San Marcos, Texas. I'll be posting those pictures online. Hopefully, I find some good old fashioned gems hidden out there that we haven't seen since the 80s. So it'll be
right.
Hopefully,
you got to make a detour and head out to the gas station, get you some barbecue, man.
I might have to do that, man. I know Miss Jason was out there. Which one was it?
Jason from part 2. Yeah.
From part 2, yeah.
Yeah, he was out there. And we're having the Scream girls out. The 2 chicks that die in the bathroom on the first Scream, they're gonna be out, I think June 1st or something like that. I'll keep you posted.
Shit. Yeah,
but
man.
Yeah, but Jen, she's the pit master now. So all the barbecue grub, man, she's the one. Yeah,
that if you haven't been to the gas station, I highly recommend it. It is good food, good people. I mean, it's a family there. It's awesome, man.
Yeah. That's why I felt it was appropriate. Yeah, that's why I felt it was appropriate to do Jake's memorial out there, man, because he loved that place.
Oh God, man. Yeah. I mean, we met so many people there, horror celebrities. I mean, before I get off here, one of the coolest things I've seen my kids do was one of the conventions that, it was one Sid Haig and Malachi was there. Well, afterwards, me and Dwayne Graves and all of us went to the gas station and they were closed. And we just hung out. Like Roy Rose let us fucking just hang out in the parking lot. And we talked till like 2 a.m. And my kids were just fucking leaning up against the door, playing on their phones in the middle of the night of the fucking gas station where Sally was chased by Leatherface. I mean, it was just so surreal, man. Man, this is just
absolutely,
fucking best, man.
Hell yeah, dude. And we got more memories to fucking make out there, man.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be dope. It's just crazy how that actually came to fruition. Like Jen started helping out and work. I met Roy and and Lisa met Jen, his wife, and my wife met up, and then she started working there, and we were hanging out there all the time. And now it's just like a normal thing, and people are like, "What?" Right. And I'm like, "Have you been to the gas station?" Like, which one? The Conoco? And I'm like, "No, the gas station."
Yeah.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to check it out, check it out at www.texasgasstation.com.
Yeah.
And you'll get a little taste of what it's like. It's definitely a bucket list piece.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. You got to see it. If you like film locations too, it's a must see, man, for sure.
Yep, absolutely. All right, man. Well, I'm going to let you get to it. For everybody in the chat and everybody who's going to be watching tomorrow or whenever, thank you so much for watching.
Thank y'all. Thank
you for all your likes and subs. God bless each and every one of y'all. Take care of each other, and remember, the truth is out there. We just got to keep
out there, man.
Yes, sir.
All right,
brother. Well, y'all have a good night. You have a good night, Woody, man, and I'll catch you. I'll hit you up on Facebook.
You too,
I'm gonna shoot you my number. That way we can.
You got it, man. Yeah, shoot it to me. All right. Thanks again, Breezy.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace out.